Одна малая до цели. Отрабатываю по цели.
The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. Footage of the destruction of 72 MTS-44A by intelligence officers to the position of Ukrainian nationalists in the Kharkiv region. FPV drone operators from the west continue to chase down frightened militants who are trying to drive away from the drone and destroy it with small arms. Russian troops destroyed a Swedish PBV-302 armored personnel carrier with a strike from 6 FPV drones, destroying both the APC and the enemy infantry fleeing from the damaged vehicle. Anwar Special Forces destroy UAV operators, supporting the offensive in the border area in the Great Britain direction in the Kharkov border area. Special Forces support the attacks of attack aircraft with drone strikes on optical fiber, destroying drone operators, their equipment and positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. Units of the Sever Group of Forces improved the situation on the front line. Russian troops defeated manpower and hardware of 1 mechanized brigade, 1 Jaeger brigade, and 1 assault brigade, 2 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades, and the Chimera Special Operations Formation of the Main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine close to Verokino, Sadki, Kropotchina, Besilovka, Novonikolayevka, and Unikovka, Sumy region. In Kharkov direction, Russian troops inflicted fire damage on formations of 1 mechanized brigade and 2 territorial defense brigades near Okremovka, Ogretsovo, Alkovatka, and Volchansk, Kharkov region. The armed forces of Ukraine losses were up to 180 troops, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 6 motor vehicles, 4 field artillery systems, and 1 Croatian-made RAK SA-12 MLRS launcher. Units of the Zapad group of forces took more advantageous positions. Russian troops hit formations of 2 mechanized brigades, 1 airmobile brigade, 1 assault brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 1 territorial defense brigade close to Petrovka, Kupiansk, Gorokhovatka, Nizhny Solno, Dvierchanskoye, Putnikovo, Petropavlovka, Sobolevka, Peskanoy, and Borovskaya Andrievka, Kharkov region. The enemy losses were more than 220 troops, 1 tank, 12 motor vehicles, and 1 Western-made artillery systems, 1 radar station, and 4 ammunition depots. Units of the UG group of forces improved the tactical situation. Russian troops inflicted fire damage on manpower and hardware of 3 mechanized brigades, 1 assault brigade, 1 mountain assault brigade, and airmobile brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine near Seversk, Zvanovka, Serebryanka, Sherbanovka, Chasov Yar, Pritikino, Konstantinovka, Verkhnekamenskoye, and Petrovka, Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy losses were over 160 troops, 1 pickup truck, 4 field artillery systems, and 1 ammunition depot. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved positions on the front line. Russian troops defeated formations of 1 mechanized brigade, 1 mountain assault brigade, 1 air assault brigade, 1 UAV brigade, 1 assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 1 Marine brigade, and 1 National Guard brigade close to Udagnoy, Novosergeyevka, Petrovskoy, Novokrenka, and Dagnoy, Donetsk People's Republic. The AFU losses were up to 500 troops, 1 HMMWV armored vehicle, 1 U.S.-made Max Pro armored vehicle, and 11 pickup trucks. Units of the Vostok group of forces continued to advance into the depths of enemy defenses. Russian troops defeated manpower and hardware of 2 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 1 Marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades close to Zelenoy Pole, Shevchenko, Voskresenka, Chervenaya Zerka, Donetsk People's Republic, Novodorovka, and Levitnoy, Zaporizhzhia region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine losses were up to 215 troops, 6 motor vehicles, 2 field artillery systems, and 1 electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnieper group of forces launched attacks on formations of 1 mechanized brigade, 1 mountain assault brigade, and 2 coastal defense brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine near Kamenskoye, Malaya Tokmachka, Zaporizhzhia region, Antonovka, Pridniprovskoye, and Zoloteya Baka, Kherson region, Nikopol, Dnipropetrovsk region, and Nikolaev. The enemy losses were up to 90 troops, 1 U.S.-made HMMWV armored vehicle, 7 motor vehicles, and 1 field artillery system. 9 electronic warfare stations, 2 ammunition depots, and 2 military hardware depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, attack drones, missile troops, and artillery of the armed forces of the Russian Federation struck the AFU command and control system, UAV production, assembly, and storage facilities, drone control centers, ammunition and military technical depots, as well as temporary deployment areas of AFU formations in 148 areas. Air defense systems shot down 3 British-made Storm Shadow air-launched cruise missiles, 5 U.S.-made JDAM guided aerial bombs, and 3 U.S.-made HIMARS MLRS projectiles, as well as 173 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy lost 663 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 66,477 unmanned aerial vehicles, 612 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,101 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,573 MLRS combat vehicles, 26,812 field artillery guns and mortars, 37,524 units of support military vehicles,